Welcome to another episode of Connect the Dots. Today I'm joined by Earl. Earl, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, Jack. Thanks a lot.
Earl, why don't you start by telling us and the audience a little bit about yourself and the business, please?
Absolutely. So Jack, my company is People First, and that's what we do. We help busy managers put their people first. We help them really see the whole person, help increase connection and trust at work so that really people can get stuff done.
Nice. And I read a 33-year career in the Canadian federal government. What made you decide to start the business?
Well, I think this has really been a journey. I was a student of leadership. I became kind of an accidental, supervisor, I guess, early on in my career, like many managers. I didn't really look for performance, completing performance reviews and being
Yeah.
responsible for other people's work. But you know what? I started to love it. I began to love it when a mentor of mine took me under his wing and really helped me learn how to put my team first because I was
Right.
focused on results early on and it was just about, okay, let's get stuff done, let's go go go. And he really helped me learn that it's through people that
Yeah,
those results get delivered.
absolutely. I read about you entering your second act as an entrepreneur. What was the transition emotionally and professionally?
It was a bit of a, kind of an evolution and a discovery. What I deliver, what People First is all about is really about helping people increase their self-awareness. And sometimes I say it's a good thing that I maybe wasn't as self-aware at the time,
I
but
know
I
what you
really
mean.
I really do think I think I was an entrepreneur, Jack, trapped in a public
Yeah.
servant's body. I was finally unleashed a little over 3 years ago and I think I'm doing what I was meant to do. So it doesn't seem like very much of a shift, but rather this is the path that I've been working on, for
Yeah.
the last 33 years. As I mentioned, I've been a student of leadership during all that time and really
Yeah,
learning about how can I help other managers get better at leading their teams.
absolutely. And I read also that, you've led teams from 5 to, 150 people. What separates a strong leader, I guess, from, a not so strong leader, I guess?
Well, I think everything really starts with awareness. I think it starts with understanding who we are, what comes most easily to us, how we show up when we're not trying to show up, and then moving very quickly to appreciating that not everyone is like us.
Yeah,
And then figuring out how do we get that friction out of the system? How can we get the misunderstanding and confusion out of the system so that we can really do what organizations exist to do, which is deliver results.
absolutely. And where can our audience and listeners find you, Earl, in the business, please?
Well, we are at peoplefirst.ca. Pretty easy to find our
Yeah.
websites. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. I live on LinkedIn. That's my only social media channel at the time. But yeah, I have a Talkadot page as well. I just did a TEDx talk, so you
Nice.
can check out my TEDx talk, Connection Network, How to Thrive in the New World of Work. And
Nice. Fantastic. What leadership mistakes do you see repeatedly across organizations?
I I think a lot of times that leaders are not really, focusing on what is the real cause of the problem. I think a
Yeah.
lot of times we're thinking it's a people problem that this is that they just don't get it. And I think
Yeah.
what is often happening is that it's not that people don't get it, it's just that we are speaking, really four different languages at work. The system that we offer is the insights discovery system. It's a system that helps people understand, their preferences, like how they prefer to show up. And I think a lot of times, leaders are, focusing on results when that person wants to, understand the relationships first. They can get to results, but they want to know relationships. Or the leader is
Yeah.
talking about, the vision and the direction, but the person really needs to know the details before they can get there. So I think
Yeah.
that's a lot of times the problem is that, we're talking in one language, our preferred language, the way
Yeah.
we understand the problem, but our team, speaks many languages.
Yeah, that's a great insight, actually. I know you've got deep experience in change management. Where do you see? Can you give us an example of some, real positive change management?
Yeah, I think in terms of, change, it really does start with understanding that people are leaving something behind. The quote that I shared in a keynote that I gave a few, I guess, last month was
Hmm.
that the leader who has crossed the river forgets there is even a bridge. And I think a lot of times as leaders we we have been involved in the change for a longer period of time. We've had a chance to, grieve the past, maybe make our
Yeah.
case for why we should be moving in a different direction and have at least accepted it. But our teams are still, they're on the rough side of those rapids, still crossing that river.
Yeah.
And we're over there going, wait a second, why aren't you here already? What's going on? So I think that's the part that leaders often get wrong about change is just that timing gap of where we are at. We finished the journey and our teams are really just starting.
So, what's the human side of change that organizations often ignore?
I think we get so focused on the process of it. We focus on the timelines and the strategy, and we forget that the way that we're going to get there is through people, and that everyone needs to understand that change and the reasoning for that change differently. That I'll use our system that,
Mhm.
people that lead with cool blue, a detailed focus, they're not resisting, they're thinking. People that lead with sunshine yellow, which is ideas and vision, they're not in denial. They're still, they're
Yeah,
processing, right? So
absolutely.
yeah, I could go on with the other
Absolutely.
ones.
What's the most rewarding part of the job?
I think for me, what I love to do is really help other managers get better at leading their teams, because that's
Right.
really where we have the multiplier effect. I think if you look at the Gallup research and the importance of middle managers on the overall climate in an organization, that they have 70% effect on the overall climate. And so for me, working with middle managers, and I think they have the toughest job. I was an executive in the government, but I think that
Mhm.
managers actually have a tougher job than executives. They're kind of sandwiched in the middle. They've got a bigger, span of control
Yeah.
and probably less control and influence over the ultimate direction. And so for me, I love working with middle managers. I love them having these aha moments and going, okay,
Mhm.
I get it now, and so yeah.
But gotta ask, what would you be doing if you weren't in this space?
You know, this is my passion. This is what I
Yeah, you
was this
love
is
it.
really what I was meant to do.
Yeah.
I mean, in my free time, I love boating, I love fishing, anything on the water. But to be honest, Jack, even when I'm out there fishing and boating, I'm still
You're thinking
thinking,
about
okay, what's the next,
it.
yeah, what's the next thing that we can do?
Uh,
How can we add more value? And so I like to say that I'm not in retirement, I'm in preferment. I am really doing what I prefer, and I
yeah,
don't
good
think
for
we
you.
should wait. I don't think we should wait until we're at the age where we can, retire or start a second act to be getting more joy from our time at work. We
Absolutely, and I bet you get some of your best ideas when you're out there as well on the board. That's I think that's when you get your most creative.
Absolutely, absolutely, it is. Yeah, I prepared a presentation for an RFP that we were competing on. Sitting on the shores of the river and kind of thinking, yeah, what is our unique selling proposition? And
I'm
it
sure you've had
was
worse places to prepare an RFP.
it was yeah. I took a picture of my office that day and sent it to my team saying, this is my office for the day. This is where I created this draft of our presentation and our pitch for
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I think you've got to, you've got to have a passion and you've got to enjoy what you do, right? And I think there's a lot of people out there who don't enjoy what they do, and I've got friends who don't enjoy what they do, and I'm like, man, just get out there and life's. I know it's cliche, but life's too short. You have to do that something that you're passionate for, that you love. What's your thoughts on that?
Jack, we spend 4 million minutes at work over a
Yeah,
35-year career.
yeah,
If
wow,
you're not finding the opportunity to find meaning in those moments and finding those moments that matter, that's a lot of
it
time
is.
wasted. And the biggest indicator of happiness, one of the biggest indicators of happiness, our overall thriving in life, is the richness of our social connections. So if we can
Yeah,
improve our relationships at work and get the friction out of the system and reduce the misunderstanding and increase trust and connection, then that's going to drive joy and meaning. So yeah, it's don't slog it out. Just
yeah.
get some answers, get some information, find out
And
how your team needs you to show up to allow them to bring their best selves to life and to work. And I put them in that order intentionally.
nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely, buddy. Um, I got to ask, AI's on everybody's mind. How is that? Is AI changing leadership and workplace cultures? Is it changing the way that you did things, or what's your thoughts on AI?
I mean, my thoughts on AI are that we need to be leveraging it, but I also think that the future of work is human,
No, of
and
course.
that we need to think about AI. We need to think about how to leverage it. I worry as a father of two adult children that are entering the workforce about what are the opportunities that AI is going to take away. And I think that the antidote to, what AI is doing and can do, and the um, the boring work that it can take away is really just, continue to learn and,
Yeah,
increase our ability to learn. I think that's the superpower, going forward is learn how to learn, keep up as best as you can. It's continually changing, but I've been a lifelong learner. I plan to continue to be a lifelong learner. I'm hoping I'm, setting a model for my children that you can keep learning at any age. And
absolutely.
and AI is a tool that isn't going anywhere. So learn how to leverage it, learn how to be the human in the loop and still make it work for you. But,
Absolutely.
and again, I know where I was going to go with that is the World Economic Forum. They talk about all of the new skills that are going to be required in 2035. Well, they talk about technological skills and learning AI and all of those pieces. But in that mix is also relationship management skills, like leadership and social influence, empathy. Like those are the human skills. Those are the power
100%.
skills that are going to help set you apart from everyone else.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And is there anything that if you could wave a magic wand, is there anything that you wish AI or automations could do for your business?
Uh, um, I mean, I think it can do it. Like, I think I don't think I have to wave a magic wand. I think I just have to figure it out because it is so capable these days.
It is, isn't it?
I think that what I look at, there was a expression that a colleague of mine shared with me a long time ago. He said, every job has ling work. And I'm like, ling, what is this ling work? And he said, low interest, no gain. And so I think that, AI is taking the low interest, no gain out of many jobs. And
That is right.
so if we can remember the future of work is human and focus on increasing our connection and relationships at work and use that to kind of drive our careers, then yeah, let's leverage the heck out of AI to take care of
Absolutely.
all the rest of it.
What excites you the most about the future of people first and the impact that you want to create?
So, what I'm really excited about is, and I think this is probably a common experience for many entrepreneurs, is just the evolution of what is possible. I think when I started out on this journey, I had a hobby. I mean, let's be honest, I was a retired, I was at that time retired public servant, and I was like, oh, I could do executive coaching, I could do 360 feedback,
Yeah.
I could do insights discovery. And then I think along the way, I got more serious. I started to see what was possible. I started to see, okay, this is doesn't need to be, Earl on his own. We are now, almost 30 people development professionals across the country with a global network of other practitioners who are ready to help teams make a difference.
Wow.
And so we've moved from Earl as a executive coach or,
Yeah.
wannabe whatever to we are your partner in people development. We can help managers see the whole person and get more done and deliver results for their organization. So I'm pretty
Absolutely.
excited about the future.
That's super exciting. And we have a lot of C-suite founders, entrepreneurs listening, but we also have a lot of younger professionals who are maybe thinking about taking that step into the industry. Do you have any advice or any words for, maybe a younger audience out there who are thinking about getting into the space and making that jump?
Absolutely. I think start to learn about you. Like whatever that solution is, whatever the way that you go about that, but do some journaling, do some
Yeah.
reflection, figure out what it is that you're truly, passionate about and just understand yourself as well in terms of your personality preferences. So you don't have to use
Yeah.
the insights discovery system, but go to our website and check out our free personality test and get a little bit
Definitely.
of information about what comes most easily to you. Because, Jack, wherever we go, there we are. At as much as I know about my preferences for how I show up,
Yeah.
I still overuse them every bloody day. I don't know if we have time, but I've got a funny story about,
Go
when
on.
we
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
uh, so just to give an example, so I lead with sunshine yellow and fiery red. So sunshine yellow, enthusiasm, persuasion, optimism, fiery red, let's
Definitely.
go, let's get stuff done, results driven. My wife, I married my psychological opposite. My wife leads with earth green and cool blue. So earth green is relationship focus, care for others. She's a nurse, very empathetic.
Mm,
Cool blue is process. Like how are we going to get there? The path to actually getting stuff done. So we're in the middle of moving our daughter back from university. She graduates and is
congrats.
packing her up from her apartment. And I'm in go, go, go mode, just having fun, lots of energy. I'm like taking everything down and just throwing it on the sidewalk in front of the U-Haul. And my wife is all worried about, the impact on pedestrians that are trying to get down the street, and we're going down the hall in my daughter's apartment, and I say to her, I said, "Oh, could you care any less? Could you just care less? Like, don't care about these people that are being
Yeah.
impacted. Like, let's just get this stuff done." And
Let's
she's like,
go.
"Could you be any less optimistic?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's okay, touche. Yeah, right back at
Touche.
you."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Jack, wherever we go, there we are. So, I mean, my
Yeah.
advice is, learn, who
Mm,
that is, like what that is for you. It doesn't define you. It's just a preference. It's not a competency. But if you understand that piece, then that helps you, adapt and connect. And so I think all personal and professional development starts with an increase in self-awareness. So absolutely,
absolutely.
that's where I would start.
Earl, thank you very much. You got some fantastic content there. So